Hi Flosstube, it's Karen, recovering monogamous stitcher. Today is Thursday, July 31st, 2025, and I'm here today to record Flosstube number 75. I'm so happy you could be with me today. I'm happy that if you've come back, that you liked what you have seen in the past and are happy to be back. And if you're new, you're so welcome here. I hope you'll see something you like and that you will like and subscribe to my channel. My channel number is going up. I get new subscribers all the time and I really appreciate it. So I'm happy to have you here. Thanks for coming. Now, I'm going to jump right into it because I really have quite a few things to talk about and to say, and I don't like my videos to get too long. So what have I done in the past 2 weeks? First of all, last time I told you I would be back on August 1st. I'm not available on August 1st, so I'm here today. So I wasn't lying, I was just mistaken. So in the last 2 weeks, I've stitched every day, which makes it a great 2 weeks. I've stitched both in my sewing room and in my stitchy chair, so that's fun. I've had several Zoom stitch-in meetups, always fun with my friends. And I went to a 3-day stitch-in at Boone Tavern in Berea, Kentucky. And this was coordinated by one of our Central Kentucky stitchers who belongs to other groups. So we joined them, the Louisville chapter of Embroiderers Guild of America and the Louisville chapter of, and I should have taken a picture of their little sign because it's something like Needlework Arts or something like that. And then the Central Kentucky Stitchers. And it was so much fun. We saw so many different kinds of projects going on, not just cross stitch, which is always fun too. We had a great time with that. But there were needle pointers, there were embroiderers. People were doing things on like big frames. There was someone doing embroidery with gold work, just absolutely gorgeous. It was just a great time. And we did spend a little time tooting around the town a little bit, going out to eat. We went to a quilt shop, stopped in and saw some artisan works and things. So I'll be showing you a little bit of, I'll show you something that I picked up when I was there. So it was a great time. It was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and a good time was had by all. Let's see. Okay, let me show you my book of days. All filled out. All filled out. Now, I've told you before, but I have new people here, so I'm going to say it again. Each month I put my goals for the month in this column, and I always have my focus piece there, and my red sampler is there, and any SAL that I'm participating in, and then other things I want to do in the month with cross stitch. Quilting I don't put in here. And you will see they're all checked off except specialty stitches. And the reason I didn't do that is because I got going on some things that I wanted to get done, and I did. So I'll tell you about that in a little bit. And I'm okay with that. I'll get back to that. So that's my book of days. And before I start showing my whips and finishes and all of that, I want to talk about respond to some comments from previous videos. In the last video, I failed to respond. My previous video, I had asked the question when I was showing Martha Miller, and I was, you hear that? He's watering the flowers, so he's turning the water on and off, sorry. I had asked about my swans. Should I backstitch or should I not backstitch? And there were a lot of you responded to that question. I really appreciated it. Overwhelmingly, people said yes, backstitch, but I had done one of the swans in a light blue. And several people said, yes, backstitch, but not the blue. And so I went back to my DMCs. I first tried to replace I took out the blue, tried to replace it with DMC 02. And to me, that was too light. It didn't do the purpose. So I went to 03, just a slightly more gray. And when we get to Martha Miller, when I show my whips, I'll show that to you. And I think you'll see that that was pretty successful. So thank you for your comments. I appreciated that. I took it to heart and responded. Okay, another person after my last video, when I had the quilt that was on display was a quilt made by my grandmother. She had hand sewn and hand quilted hexagons. And I had talked about, I recognized this fabric, or this was something my mother made me, a romper out of this one, and so forth. And one of the commenters said it would be nice if you could put that on the quilt, you know, your memories of the fabrics on the quilt. And that is a terrific suggestion. I'm just not sure how I would do it. How can I say, you know, third row, fifth column, or I don't know how I would do that. So I'm thinking about that. I'm not discounting it. I think it's a wonderful comment, and yes, that should be preserved. And I appreciate that, but I have to figure out how to do it. If you have any brilliant ideas, let me know. I would appreciate that. I had another question. Someone asked me, how do I stitch with scroll rods? Because I showed you my BAP last time that I had on scroll rods, but didn't show you how I do that. And actually my response is, I don't do it very well. And it's not the problem of the scroll rods themselves. It's not the problem of my stand. I think it's the chair I'm in. I'm in a lazy boy chair. I never recline it, but you know, it has those big arms. And so here's my stand. And it can adjust wider, and so for my BAPs, of course, it has to be wider. The arms of the chair are in the way. And so if I'm sitting in the chair and I'm stitching and it's on my lap, and so I have, the arm of the chair is right here, and I have to reach around and under, and I'm sorry, it doesn't work very well. And I like the stand, but one problem I have personally is because I think I'm getting arthritis in my hands. You see these knobs are smooth. I can't grip them tight enough to really tighten down. So when I have my scroll rods in here, sometimes they start drooping because I haven't made it tight enough. So anyway, I like the stand. Now, I pulled out the documentation for it, and it does say lap or tabletop. And I have not, I'll tell you, I've not tried it tabletop. I can try that. That would eliminate the armchair problem. But then I'm sitting on a hard chair at a table. So anyway, I'll see. Now, this stand was recommended by Handwork Maniac Brenda. Handwork Maniac is her Flosstube channel. If you don't watch her, you should watch her. But you can go back and search out where she demonstrated her stitching spot, how she sets it up, her chair, her stand. She has floor stand, and she has this lap stand, and this she takes with her to retreats. That's where I decided, boy, that's exactly what I need. But her chair doesn't have arms, and I think that's probably the key to my problem. But let me show you the information on this if you're interested. It's from Artisan Design, and my style is called Elan, which is tabletop and lap stand. And I'll show you okay. They do several kinds, and there's the information if you want to snap it and take it. And when I ordered it, they had a backlog, and I think I waited about 9 weeks for it. But it came, it was perfectly packaged. It came with this stand, of course, and sets of rods and sets of spacer bars, so you could, have your bars far apart or closer together, and then different heights here, or no, it's adjusted with the hole there. So it's a nice stand, but my stitching setup, I haven't been able to get myself comfortable with it. So that's that one. Okay, another question I was asked was, what fabrics did I use on the twirl quilt? And that's the quilt that's behind me again, because it's now finished, and I'm going to show that to you more closely. I don't remember, but the fabrics came from Fig Tree and Company, Joanna Figueroa, Fig Tree Quilts. And if you're interested in doing a similar one to this, or like this color palette, I suggest going to Fig Tree & Co. She just emailed out maybe 1 or 2 days ago that she has bundles of autumn fabrics, or your autumn fabric bundles that she has, pre-put together. And she's pretty consistent with her color palette. So for example, when I did a Halloween quilt that I got from Fat Quarter Shop, but it was with Fig Tree fabrics. I did the quilt, and I had some left, and I wanted to do the table runner, and I did, but I didn't have enough fabric left to do the backing and binding. But I knew that if I found another Fig Tree and Company orange, it would go with the orange that was in that quilt. And I was right. I ordered it online and it came and it was perfect match. And so I got to finish 2 projects out of that fabric. So my point is that if you like this color palette, I'm sure you can get a very similar color palette from her directly. And when you get the quilt pattern, of course, it'll tell you how much you need of each one. So. Okay, now to my stitching. I have an FFO to show you, and it is Dorothy Bryant. You saw it before when it was finished stitching, but now it's been framed, happily framed. I've not gotten my card on the back yet. I have to do that with all my instruction or my information. And this is this is from Hands Across the Sea Designs. It's one of her little red samplers that I do one all the time. I always have one on the go. I stitched this on 40 count dirty teacup, and you see that? It really is beautiful modeling. I do love that. And that is from Needle and Flax linen. And I used the Soie 103. The called for is number 523. And that's Dorothy Bryant. Okay. So she will be hung on the wall soon. And then I had 2 finishes. Yay me! Okay, Red, White, and Bloom. Now this was one of 3 pieces that I took to Boone Tavern, and I spent one of the days on each of 3 different projects, and this was one of them. I didn't quite get it finished there, but I did finish it when I was home. So they're finished, and I had hoped I'd have them fully finished, but I didn't get to that. So here's some. I think they'll stay on this with batting on it. So Red, White, and Bloom. They're so cute. Of course, by Brenda Gervais. And these were stitched on 36 count Winter's Brew, and I'm pretty sure that's by R&R linen. And that's what the models were stitched on the pattern cover, so I was able to get that, match it exactly. And I used all DMCs. Did I? Wait, let me not lie here. No, I used DMCs and Weeks Dye Works and Gentle Art Sampler. And if you want to know specifically which ones I switched out to DMC, give me a comment and I'll copy it out of my book and send it to you. Okay, so that's Red, White, and Bloom. Happy finish. Now to be fully finished. And the next finish, ta-da, Martha Miller. This is a stitch along with Queen City Sampler Guild. And it started in January, and Sylvia divided it into 9 sections, so it was scheduled, if you kept up, to be finished in September. And because of another little surprise I'm going to tell you in a bit, the announcement that's in my title, I decided I needed to put the pedal to the metal on this and get it done because I needed to clear my calendar for the next thing coming along. So here she is. Here she is. She is stitched on 40 count Milk and Honey by Fiberon and Whim. And I used all DMC flosses that Sylvia provides in the pattern. Now, let me talk about the swans. Where are my swans? Okay, they're the swans. And I used DMC 03 to do back stitching around the swans because they did not show up. And then the house, you'll see, has the same color as the swans coming out as smoke, but I decided I didn't need to backstitch that. It's fine with me that it's sort of ghosty. It's smoke after all. Now I did do a change here. These 2 flowers were supposed to be done in the same swan thread and smoke thread, but I went to my DMC book and found the lightest purple, and I switched it to just a very, very light purple, so that, because otherwise the flower would have been white and it would not have shown. And it is 3747. And I was really happy with that change. Okay. So done. Ta-da! And I was thrilled thinking I would have one done by September. By golly, I got it done in July. So, okay, so we'll talk about that, the reason for that in a little bit. And this has lived in this project bag that I made out of Blackbird fabric. So this is now available for another project. Move this off. Okay. Okay, and I know what else I was going to show you, and I skipped right over it. I want to, because I have new viewers here, I wanted to demonstrate how I keep track of what is finished and what is an oldest whip and so forth. So, for example, Red, White, and Bloom in my book is number 25. Let me go to sorry, number 25. Okay, so this is the table of contents, and this book holds 50 projects, and number 25 was Red, White, and Bloom. So when I finished it, I put the finished date on its project page, and then in the table of contents, I also put a finished date. So when I scan down here, I know what's a whip that is not done, and I know what's done. Then in my book of days, on the day I finish it, I also mark that, okay, I finished it. And then I have added pages in the back. And I have a page where I have my 2025 finishes, and it's added to the list. So I can see what I have finished in 2025, because that's of interest to me. And that's how I keep track of that stuff. Okay. And then whips. I had 2 others that I took to Boone Tavern that are not finished. I did not get them finished. I knew I wouldn't, but anyway, I took them. One is Equality Sampler by Paulette Stewart, Plum Street Samplers. This is beautiful. This is the one Carol Saltbach Stitcher was trying to think of as the third one in that grouping. So anyway, Equality Sampler. And, okay, my needle, I have my needle stuck here because I like to keep the same needle so it's stuck there. Okay, the day that I worked on this at the tavern, declaration, I didn't quite finish the D. My day was done and I didn't quite finish it, so that'll of course get finished next time I go back to it. That's 1/1. And this is stitched on 36 count Grogg. I got that in my fabric club from BeStitchMe in 2021 or something like that. So, but I think she makes this color regularly now. And it is stitched with DMC and Weeks Dye Works. So that's my start on Declaration of Sentiments, Equality Sampler. And this is the top of the flagpole, and then the flag's gonna come over here and cross this. So when I get that done, I can continue that border down. And this marks another divider, and so I'm kind of plotting out the bones and trying to, my plan is to, not just leave the 1/1 till last, but plug away at it and then do something fun, and then plug away at it and do something fun, because there's a lot of 1/1 in this. And this lives in this project bag I made. It's got flag lining in it. So there's that one. And the other that I worked on at the tavern, while I was hanging out at the tavern, Disturbed Women by Lucy Beam. I love, this is going to hang in my sewing room. That's why I'm doing this one. It's not going to hang with samplers for sure. And this, I haven't spent that much time on it, but it's really plugging along quite well. It's stitched on 40 count Witch's Brew from Lapin Loops. There's the tag even. Lapin Loops. There's the info. And I really like it. I'll have a chunk of it left. It'll be great for any kind of Halloween stitching or something that I like to do. Now that's getting in there. So great fun, and actually it is not taking long. The letters go relatively quickly. So, and it's only 2 colors in this. It's a very, very dark green, and then there's this purple. It's called Purple Haze, Weeks Dye Works Purple Haze. And this I'm using a DMC instead of the Weeks. DMC 934, very, very dark green. So that's Disturbed Women. That lives in a project bag I made. You've seen this one. It has a, oops, don't want to show my working copy. Neutral little fabric inside. Okay, so that's my fully finished, my finishes, and my whips. And I'm going to pause a second here to clear the decks, and then we'll be back with Happy Mail and haul and announcement. Okay, first thing I'm going to show you is some Happy Mail received from one of my good buds in Michigan. She was, when we were in a stitching group, it was sewing group together, I would always take something having to do with quilting that I could do in my hand, and she was the one, she always did cross stitch, and I was deep in quilting at that time and wasn't cross stitching, so she's a long time cross stitcher. And first of all, the card that came with it is, I'm not going to show it too closely, but this is about my hometown, the names of businesses and the places and the, oh my gosh, so cute. She chooses the best stuff, and I love this. It's sweet. I have that on my shelf. I see that every day. I love it. Thanks so much, Barb. Love it. Okay, and then some haul. Last time I believe I mentioned that I was trying to find the floss to stitch Marie Vallée from Running with Needles and Scissors, and it was Gloriana Flamingo color. And I heard from 2 people. One of my commenters said Nashville Needleworks, and my buddy, my mother's daughter, KY, said Nashville Needleworks. Got it. Came very quickly. So I have the floss. Thank you very much. And there was another one that was linked to me in a message, and I neglected to put it in my notes. I'm sorry. But so if you're looking for this Gloriana Flamingo, check Nashville Needleworks. I have an online shop. And one thing I noticed about this pattern when I was, reading it a little bit more carefully. See, there's the picture on the front, and then there's a note on the back that says the smalls are available in a separate chart. I'm disappointed at that. If it had been pictured like that, I, wouldn't have expected it, but I expected they were all together. So now I have another one on my wish list. So anyway, so she's all kitted up, ready to go, and I have her in my French general bag that I made. And the zipper pull is one that I bought when I was at the attic from a vendor. I don't know, 5 times plus, something like that, I think. Okay. And I watched the ladies from the attic on their Flosstube, their video, and okay, add to cart. I got a needle minder, and I don't have a lot of needle minders. I'm fine. For one thing, when I'm stitching in hand, I don't want a needle minder. It weights down the fabric, but I love this for my red samplers. Isn't it cute? So I have a new needle minder, and I ordered several patterns. This one, 1776 Liberty Eagle. Isn't that gorgeous? I haven't kitted it yet, but I love it. I love it. And this is the time to be doing these. We'll talk more. But I love this one. I hope to get that started and going. And then this Jean, our wonderful Jean Lee, who we lost in January, I believe. She loved Dove chocolates, and inside the wrappers of Dove chocolates, there are phrases, and she put all these phrases together, a bunch of them anyway, and did this, and I love this, and I'm a chocolate girl too, so I think this will be another one in my sewing room here. Such fun. They're so cute. I have only one vice, and it's chocolate. Enjoy good chocolate with friends. Eating chocolate is like giving yourself a hug. If I could, I'd bathe in chocolate. So, a fun one. Sometimes I do just fun ones. Okay, and then Jean, a Bristol Etui. I don't know how to say it. I don't know French. But it's a nice size to get a taste of the Bristol stuff. It'll be a needle book, a little scissor fob. There's a little pin pillow. And I like doing smalls too. So that's another one. I got these from the attic. Okay, and I said we did a little walking around in Berea, and look at this little guy I found. It's a finger puppet, but he can sit with me when I'm stitching and unstitching and all that stuff. He's a cute little froggy. So that's one. And I could not resist the hedgehog. Look at that face. Look at that face. Love it. I love it. Not because it doesn't have anything to do with stitching, but I just love that little face. I like hedgehogs. They're so darn cute. Prickly and cute. Okay, another thing that came in the mail was my kit for a class. I'm going to take an online class from Queen City Sampler Guild through Queen City Sampler Guild. And what we're going to be doing is making, let me see if, I should have, okay. We're going to be making a tomato pin pillow, and we're going to be making these pins. We have all of the things we need to make it, and we'll have an online class. There's a little pre-stitching to do. You have to do at least one of the little pins. Oops, at least one of the little pins. Sorry, that was a faux pas. And it includes everything you need, the batting you need, the lizard litter, and the chopstick for stuffing, and everything. So that's going to be August 16th. So that class, I have that kit. Oops. And then I got my Sew Sampler subscription from Fat Quarter Shop. Summer Love. And other people do this as an unboxing, and so I know if you're interested in quilting, you've probably seen this. But you may be just interested, what do you get in a subscription box? There are 8 fat quarters here, go together, some colors. Love those colors. A friction pen. Of course, this removes with heat or with this eraser. I love friction pens, use them. Got some more Wonder Clips. My favorite color, pink. And these are the kind, they have a measurement on them. So you know how deeply you've put it on your fabric. I guess you can use it to help you measure your seam allowance. That's not how I use them, but anyway, that's fine. And a Serenade quilt sampler, which would go with these fat quarters. If you, of course, have to add background fabric and backing and binding, but this would be make a quilt top with this pattern. And then the next flowering pattern in the series that they're doing this year, there will be 12. And this is number, what are we on now, 4? Number 4. Okay. And that's a Sew Sampler box. Oh, and, sorry, a spool of Aurifil thread. And this is a, how many did it say? It seems bigger than the normal ones. I don't see how, meters? 1300, is that right? MT 1300, anyway. Very useful color, Aurifil thread. I love Aurifil thread. And I do notice if I switch out to another thread, I need a certain color, and I have some different brands, and I put them on, they make my machine dustier, and so I have to believe it makes it dustier inside where I can't see. So I try to stick with the Aurifil always. Okay, so there's that. Now, I'm going to pause one more second and then we'll have an announcement. Okay, so I finished Red, White, and Bloom, and this is the the bag it was in, and I've switched it out for a new project. And let me talk to you about this because I'm very excited. My friend Janet, my mother's daughter KY, and I are hosting a patriotic SAL, which means stitch along or start along, however you approach those things. And we are hosting this, and we will time it. If you keep up with our pace, you will have these projects finished by May. So you can put it out starting Memorial Day and celebrate a patriotic summer the whole summer long. These are the patterns we're doing a stitch along on. Stars and stripes. Stars is designed by Paulette Stewart, Plum Street Samplers. This was released, I think, last year. So cute, so cute. And then and stripes on this one. Shakespeare's Peddler, also known as Kitten Stitcher. Now, Janet has set up a Facebook page for this SAL, and we have come up with a division to get this done in the 9 months. We're officially starting on September 1st. Of course, you can jump in anytime you want. If you've already started these or have them or just need a little encouragement to work on them, just jump in and help us. Okay, this is 110 by 110. So we divided it into 4 pieces, 55 by 55, 55 by 55. That's not too much to get done in a month. So you could easily get this done faster than the 9 months. But if that's the only amount you can do in a month, that would work fine. And stripes, 110 by 110. So again, 55 by 55 is a month's assignment, if you want to look at it that way. And if you get that much done in those 4 months, and then get that done in the last month, or whichever, the order doesn't matter, whichever you want to do first, you'll be done by Memorial Day. It's going to be so much fun. So we have it's hashtag stars and stripes, and we're going to be posting on our Instagram accounts, and Janet has set up a Facebook page for Stars and Stripes SAL, and I'll put in the notes below. It's a link. I hope when the notes go up that it will work as a link. It works as a link from my email, so I hope so. I'm excited about it. I think we can get this done. And now, tomorrow, August 1st, Janet is going to put up her Flosstube. You need to stop in and see that. If you haven't seen Janet, you have to stop in and see her Flosstube anyway. But she has a great idea for finishing. And I'm not gonna blow her surprise. That's her surprise. She has a great idea for finishing. I'll be doing pretty traditional little pillows with probably the chenille around, and I'll be thrilled to have these done. But my mother's daughter, KY, starting August 1st, her Flosstube will be up. Check it out. She's a go-getter. Okay, I have looked at this and pulled together what I think so far I'm going to be doing. I checked kittens. It calls for, the models were stitched on 40 count graham cracker, and you get that from Kitten Stitcher. And I checked, and it's not currently there, so I will keep watching. But in the meantime, I do have some other choices. If I don't get graham cracker, I have 3 choices of 40 counts that I think are pretty good choices. Let me flip this way. Okay. And I think any of those would work out fine. So if I don't get graham cracker, I'll choose one of these. This one is Milk and Honey Fiber on a Whim. There's a tiny bit of greenish in there. This one is Hot Cocoa from BeStitchMe. It's more modeled. Was this a club? Yes, this was one of my Fabric of the Month clubs. So I don't know if she has it in her current rotation or not. And this one is Country Mocha on Soie base. It doesn't say Vintage Country Mocha. well, it should be. This side is mottled, and then this side is plain. So it's what I call vintage country mocha. So there's a choice there. So I'm set with fabric, even if she doesn't come up with having the 40 count graham cracker. Now, the weeks. You know, I've been in this floss club. It was so much fun to go to my supply of flosses and have nearly every single one of the called for overdyes. What? That never happens. So for all of these, there is some overlap. So I've done one ring for my overdyes weeks, and I've done one ring for the DMCs. And I've ordered the few that I did not have, I have ordered. And so when they come, I'll pull out the DMCs that I had substituted, but there are nice substitutions available in DMC. So I have my flosses gathered. I have potential fabrics gathered. And I'm very excited to get going. Stars and Stripes. This is our Sal. And of course, remember, a Sal, you do you. You know, if you get tired of it and want to drop out and then pick it up another time. Or if you have started these and not finished them, we hope we can encourage you to jump in and get them finished. Because I think this is going to easily get done by May and be able to be up Memorial Day and through July 4, our big July 4. And with my decorating, my Patriotic is up from Memorial Day to Labor Day because I don't have anything else to switch out for summer, so that's what I do. So I hope you will enjoy this, get excited about it, and be happy to jump in with us. It's #StarsAndStripesSal, and I'm putting it in the notes below. I'm going to pause right now and look at the featured quilt. I'll be right back. Okay, this quilt is called Twirl, and it is from Fig Tree and Company. Joanna Figueroa is the designer. I showed this to you when it was just the top, the flimsy, and talked about how I would quilt it. Last time I gave a glimpse of the start on the long arm. And I love the way the Baptist fans really show. They came out great. And I did a custom border. Did the piano key border. You know I like piano key border. And then I did continuous curve in these blocks. Oops, I'm looking backwards here. In these blocks going down. And then the Baptist fan. I'm happy with it. I'm very happy with it. I could not come up with a design that I was happy with to go on those leaves. That was a good choice. And it's not a pantograph, so I could do it from the front of the machine and see exactly where to start and stop, not accidentally run into my border. So that's Twirl, Fig Tree and Company. And as I say, you can probably find very similar. Oops, I'm gonna put my hand in front of the camera now. So here, sorry. Similar color palette if that's a quilt you would like to do. Okay, so I will be back on August 15th with my next regular Flosstube. Be watching for My Mother's Daughter KY. Check out her Flosstube tomorrow, starting tomorrow, and find out what her great finishing idea is. And I hope you'll be inspired to join along and have fun with us with this Sal. And it's a great time to think about the Patriotics. And I was going to say, if you haven't watched Carol Saltbox Stitcher yet, her last video she just put out, she does her plans for the sesquicentennial stitching is out of this world. I can't be that ambitious. Carol, kudos to you. You go, girl. So I'm going to do something smaller. Thanks so much. I'll see you on August 15th. Bye-bye, Flosstube.